everyone. Welcome to the third game series of the NEBVEMBER tournament. We got 120 SPM scoring off against Freakbob's Fenthouse. I'm Necaboy Blue, and I'm joined in the co-casting booth by Scape GT.
Hello, everyone.
All right. Team 1 is going to be 120 SPM. Team 2, as you can tell by the tag, is going to be Freakbob's Fenthouse. Scape, you want to introduce those Team 1 players?
Sure thing. Team 1, this is the 120 SPM stack here. We have Backline Fan, who is Notes, Solus, Mildly, and Iris.
All right. Team 2 in the Orange Trunks OSP, we've got Fenthouse Drive Yards, Spy Eye, and 2 Cosmic Eradicators. That's going to be Columni and Mr. Clark numbers along with that.
Which are definitely not alt accounts at all.
Yeah, totally not.
I can confirm that one of these Cosmics is indeed the real one. We will see if we are able to tell whose Cosmic is who. But anyway, taking a look at initial deployments here on Gold Rush here. Freakbob's Fenthouse, I'm seeing a monitor ball high and a CLN in the back. Scattered liners and cap assets around the map. Looks like, surprisingly, based on the deployments, looks like a pretty standard play from Freakbob's Fenthouse.
Yeah, nothing really strange coming out there.
Double
and
levy
aside, we've got a
Notes.
big battleship, common deployment location, a couple beamstones scattered about. I'm seeing a levy of their own. Quite a few destroyer count there. All right, you want to go through ANS or OSP to start with?
I'll take ANS because I took them in the intro.
All right. I think I'm watching
That's,
Spy Eye. I recognize the name of this monitor on the drop.
That's not a monitor ball.
Uh-oh. Are you sure?
All right, I'm
Looks
getting
like
the
it might
zoom
be a
in
monitor
on.
ball.
I'm getting the zoom in on. One
That's
at
a
least.
5 monitor ball there.
No, that is a monitor ball. They have a different thing somewhere else. All right. Anyway,
damn it.
starting off with Notes here, brought a double levy. We've got standard looking levy, more standard than we saw before. It looks like we're doing bomber heavy, which is was the previous meta until S1s kind of got their return to form here. All S3s, Heiko countermeasures, and then 20mm nose gun, S2 missile bay. Tontos here, probably going to be relying on those SDM-200s. Yep, you've got some in the mag there. Up next, Iris is running the battleship here. Comms jammer on the side, chaff launcher, VLS-2 backpack. Parallax radar, so no long-range quad TC spy, but still solid. The escort is a Sarissa Scout brick. Mildly running the pretty standard cap fleet here. This is Dumbass 3, if I'm not mistaken. Yep, Corpse, Carcass, Cadaver, and Skull. Wait, no, that's the wrong one. Yeah, Skull. Oh, okay. Mildly and Solus are running the same fleet. Okay, so that brings ANS's total to...
double cap. Interesting.
Yep, 8
all right.
beamstones, and I believe all of these... No, whoa. That's 10 beamstones. This is the 5 beamstone variant.
That is a lot of
here.
beamstone here.
Are they
These
all
are Dragonfly beamstones by the looks of it.
Yes,
I
they're all
expected maybe some
Dragonfly.
tech
Yes,
in
okay.
here, but no, okay.
All right, so ANS
Right.
is playing heavily for that initial cap capture and then beamstone hold. They only have 4 gun cappers in total. That is 2 gun cappers and 2 cringe cappers per player.
I feel
Interesting.
like they could have tuned this a little bit differently, but at the same time, affording 5 beamstones in a fleet is expensive. We see these beamstones are pretty naked. Shaft box on the top, the lock on the bottom there, right on the chin, and then not much else attached onto them, saving points wherever they can to fit all those holes. Taking a look at OSP side, already seeing some decoys being launched out here. Let's see. Cosmic Eradicator, the first up top, has a 250 liner moving his way towards the E point, providing overwatch cover there. No secondary batteries on this one, I can see, but still very... Actually, no, 1 secondary on the belly, or is that a rebound?
No, it's a secondary.
No, not a rebound. That is a... Am I
A
just wrong?
singular,
That is a
it's like
T20, okay.
singular T20.
Right, rebounds ANS specific. I am cooked today, apparently. All right, Yub Brick along with this size 2 monitor, good tech device there. Nice little arsenal this thing has got itself. Looks like 100 missiles in there, so that's 5 salvos, as I recall. Cosmic Eradicator then rounds it out with 1, 2, 3, 4 T20 for these shuttles. Very good stuff there. The other Cosmic is going to come in with a rocket shuttle towards the seaside point. We're going to see that they have got a T-30 liner obelisk-style plasma on that as well, moving its way towards that sea point. Another one of these things is going to be hanging back for the moment, covering the A side. They've split them up a little bit, but can consolidate to focus fire. Another rocket shuttle just hanging back for the moment. Fenthouse takes to the skies with a carrier here, 3K... no, not quite 3K more line. 2 empty cappers.
It's R2s. 284
R2s we saw very
R2s
strong.
in there. 200. That's going to be absurdly effective against those beamstones if Tethys is able to find them.
No overwatching. Well, maybe some overwatching actually. Just I was thinking at normal state you don't have enough beamstones to get that cover, but now taking a look at the double cap fleet tech, this could end up working with the XXL Aurora strategy we've seen before. So have to see how that goes. And lastly, we got Spy Eye coming in with their monitor balls here. Some of these funny names along with that. And yeah, not much to say about that. It's a pretty standard looking monitor ball. Plasma, T30, C90, just kind of the usual gubbins you expect from this. 8-point cap is going to go to the hands of the ANS pretty fast, as they are going to send 2 of their naked cappers. One of them gets locked on immediately. Cosmic Eradicator going to open up with their aiming C53s here and T30s to follow. Yeah, that Corvette's going to be in for a world hurt.
That is a cringe capper there. It would appear that one of the cosmics...
It's dead. It's already
dead. Jesus. Okay. Wow. I knew it was a cringe capper, but I've never seen a cringe capper die that quick. Jesus.
100 mil liners do not play around.
Anyway,
we see them now wasting some shot on it. They need to reload and go for the second one. Otherwise, we're
Crimson though.
A-cap potentially go
Crimson
through.
is going for the hit though with missiles out from. Looks like the Yub brick. Those missiles curve around and hit the cringe capper. A is denied.
And there we go.
SDM 200.
A denial with it at 80%. Beams on the fighters
Massive.
now.
Yeah,
as
we
we
have
saw
a
there.
very aggressive engagement at A from both sides here. Dragoon Squadron are bombers. They send out their torpedoes as Crimson with the rockets comes in. Unfortunately, no kills for them as they start getting SDM hits from Splinter here. The Beamstone comes in from Mildly here. 1-Corpse also tries to get some beam hits into Crimson. Crimson taking some pretty heavy losses. All ships dead at A. No A cap today. Meanwhile, across the map, OSP takes E and their natural of D. ANS takes...
Beamstone actually cleans up the fighters above 8-point there briefly. Sorry to interject, but...
Very, very excellent play from... those were Modley's Beamstones there. And Solus has a couple around 2 that are in position. Yeah, the Beamstones in really, really aggressive positions around A. They do not want A to fall. Meanwhile, though, on C point here, Cosmic steps onto C with one of their T-20 shuttles.
There is a beam destroyer, the Bone, in position from Solace that is now rotating over. That said, there's a rock in the way denying that angle.
Yeah, that is a really bad angle for that Beamstone here. This capper, I think, is going to take the point before that Beamstone is able to find it.
Heartbreak Flight dodging for their life as that beam is fishing for them right now. Doesn't quite get it with the B short, but potentially could clean this up.
Yep, Tethys immediately starts flank speeding directly towards that where that beam came from. They are low on fuel, though. 10 seconds left on Heartbreak Squadron. I do not think that they're going to have enough fuel to strike. They will
Vector Flight has got a minute in the tank there, so they might be able to get around the flank and attack. That said, Crimson Flight is on standby with SDM-2s covering this destroyer.
Yep, you can see notes over there is sorting out those SDM-200 Tontos there, always ready to defend the Beamstones here.
Crimson Flight gets the engage. Nada Lights here going to go out. CMD with Wake secondary.
Rockets
one of them going to find target. Other one going to find as well. Rockets quickly flick shot.
Those were
see if they are in range.
We'll see if those are enough. Multiple rocket hits will be enough.
One good impact there. Takes in the mag, but that's non-essential.
It's damage. Spectre Squadron forced to withdraw. They have no ability to win this fight. The beam comes out and eviscerates a little bit more of Heartbreak, which is stuck on RTB. Straight pathing. Meanwhile, Cosmic pushing really aggressively with one of their auto gun liners here. Pushes directly into ANS's backline here. All of these Beamstones are now attempting to pivot. Although Cosmic does get a nasty broadside
there at first
on one of the A-cap Beamstones. This A-cap Beamstone was revealed early on when it attempted to deny A, and now Mildly is going to get shredded here. Solus...
Gonna go ahead and call that a bit of a misplay on their attack. Looks like they fired before they'd established lock. A lot of those shots went wide and did not get the kill that they should have, given that this thing was caught completely broadsided.
It's damaged.
It is slightly damaged at the moment, but...
SDM-200's now out from Cosmic's 100 mil liner here, going into Buckshot Squadron.
This thing, ooh, bit of tech on this. Double swing arm launcher is going to be able to see off some of those later threats. Actually, hang on, triple swing arm on this.
Whoa, Act CMD Val, SDM-200s. Never seen that particular type before. Although contact is lost with Buckshot Squadron, so all these SDM-200s will not hit. Unfortunate timing as Cosmic is forced into cover to avoid getting beamed. Down low.
Good pullback Solus. Micro there from backline fan, as it were. That's notes according to my little notepad here.
ANS's advantage of having a bunch of beamstones is already probably paying off here. You can see that Solus's 1-corpse low on A side near C is already pivoting to try and get an angle on Cosmic's 100 mil liner that pushed out. Meanwhile, up top, Photon Squadron.
Ooh, mildly going to get found over on the east side here. One of their destroyers gets Hellstruck, going to, looks like, have a cell cook off in about 50 seconds. This thing is not long for the world.
Did it get ruddled, or what did it get hit by?
Looks like, from the impacts, that's a missile strike of some sort.
It was a missile.
Didn't quite see what that was.
Rebel Squadron, probably? Is Rebel empty? Yep, Rebel's empty and R2 to the carrier. That's definitely what it was. Although, ANS still
looks
has
like some more missiles here.
E
These are, what the heck? SGM Killjoys chasing after these fighters. Do these have warheads?
Perhaps a little bit of mistuning those missiles here, as Iris probably uses the Z-Prio command to fire SDM-200s. But the
those must have been set to all targets instead of just missiles.
You can see the priority defense commands. Unfortunately, a little bit of a misplay, misdesign of the missile tuning there. Although that was all of the Killjoys in this BB. That BB's out of Killjoys.
That's unfortunate.
Right. I don't think there's really much OSP has that can take advantage of that, but if OSP had a container liner, that would be a really, really rough situation to be in.
Beamstone underneath of A point looks like it's going to get fished here by a couple size 2s. That said, bit of a staggering issue as the missile launchers do not appear to have been timed correctly. We're going to see a bunch of these size 2s kind of come in at an odd pace.
Ooh,
still, without
odd
defenders...
Angle. They come in, yeah. They came in at an odd angle. Chaff is out.
These are act with Thermval. The ship is moving. That's the destroyers are too small, I believe,
shouldn't
for Thermval
validate
to kick.
on destroyers. No, destroyers are way too small. Yep, and then all those go for Chaff. But OSP does know that that thing is there now, since it deployed Chaff.
Eyeball Flight doing their best to run interference. Steady stream of these SDM-2s. How many on this 100 mil liner do they still have left?
They still have 6 left.
Still have 6 of them.
That's a pretty impressive number, considering that that's a liner. You can see probably where a lot of... I already know that the Cosmic Eradicator with the 100 mil liners, that is the fake Cosmic. The real Cosmic is the one with the Yub monitor and 250 liner.
All right. Talking briefly about the fleet comps here. Backline Fan, which is Notes, doing the right call, which is keeping their carriers very far back, knowing that there is a lot of R2 strike potential. They've decided to put them in the safest spot they can behind all of this layering of Beamstone. Still, ANS kind of given up ground. Very hard to push into them with their sheer number of Beamstones. Even after losing one of them, they had 9 Beamstones on the board effective. One of them, or maybe 2 of them lightly struck.
That being said, OSP doesn't need a push right now. They managed to snag C right under the gaze of multiple Beamstones. All ANS has to, or all OSP has to do is hold against this enemy team comp here. More Yub attempted on that Beamstone. One of them acquires, 2 of them acquire. Do they have the maneuver?
Going to be an A-Red act, swing and a miss, just barely with one.
Hit.
One impact across the top on the chaff box and reactor.
Chaff launcher. Ooh, that's going to probably force a restore of the reactor in order to bring that beam up maximum. But Cosmic, at the same time the missiles hit, pivot around in their liner here and catch this
100 mil liner does get the track on this.
Wrong angle. That's 250
Not
HE
firing for some reason. There it is. There's the command. Check in a second. That 100 mil should just tear this thing apart.
No plasma. That is HE, though, so it should... Yep, there comes the plasma. Beam is already starting to try and pivot back to target. FPA down, Bullseye down. Ooh, Bullseye down. This Beamstone will be unable to provide block.
This destroyer is not long for this world.
The panels are down, too. The Beamstone can't see the liner.
Liner, after it finishes its cycle here with the T-30, should just remove this Beamstone from the game. The corpse will live up to its name. ANS, I'm going to say it right now, was a little too complacent. They allowed the OSP to move up. Sure, they've got their half of the map secured, but with these 2 points, C and E, in the hands of OSP, they're feeling pretty good about their situation. The dispersed liners right now kind of just need to be dealt with. They have Beamstones in the area. They've got bombers as well, but so far they've just not gone for any kind of aggressive play, instead being complacent to sit back and just kind of hope that the OSP walks into their jaws.
ANS, though, does step back onto C, and you can see here that Solus moves -5 Bone onto this pretty much the C point itself, trying to get a really aggressive angle on that 100 mil liner. Cosmic is already moving up one of their ruddles, probably to try and deny C or recap it. Missiles out.
Missile strike on the left, going to go fine mildly. That is the crippled ship already.
These ones are out for the deny.
Alright, missiles towards C point. We saw 2 strikes, actually. Size 2s take out the skull from Mildly there. These missiles going to go towards that C point and all get seduced onto Chaff there.
Yep, that is a cringe capper with no radar. ARAD Act is not really going to work well against that. You can see here, wow. Notes is massing a massive strike here of 8 bombers, probably looking to eviscerate one of those liners and get C firmly in the hands of ANS here.
Nightshade Flight has a lot of torpedo potential here. These are CMD Saw and CMD Hodge. Do these liners have the ball jammer on them? It does not appear so. They've got 4 warp launchers on this. Wow.
Fury Squadron, which is Piranha Rocket Strike, catches Cleaver and Malice on east side, which are bomber squadrons. No anti-fighter capabilities here, as assuming that Fury Squadron has enough fuel, they are just going to shred all of these bombers apart. Malice
Fury
forced
does
to
struggle a
dump
little
early.
bit on the chase there, as they are still set to go evasively, as we see them trying to run them down. Bombers fly at about 100 meters a second. The fighters going about 110. They will eventually run them down, but as we have seen before, ammo count on the chase is something that you have to keep an eye on. Sometimes can be worth turning off your guns in order to let your guys catch up a little bit faster.
Malice Squadron was forced to dump early onto this this gun shuttle here that was heading for Boxer. It wouldn't have arrived anyway, considering that
Honestly,
there are
decent
3
collection
or
on
4
that. They may
beamstones.
have thought that was a Ruddle going for the beamstone nearby the carcass.
It's
See
possible.
some missiles
Fury
flicked off here. Piranha
R2
rockets
dumps. That was a
launched
full,
on
that was a full
Mildly's
gun capper. That was a full gun capper. Anus doesn't have many of those. And you can see here that Mildly is already, and Solus 2 are already repositioning their beams to try and get hits on Fury Squadron, but Fury Squadron is just leaving right now. Meanwhile, look at this. Cosmic is also sending one of their gun cappers to A, although it has already been target locked by one of the damaged beamstones overlooking A. That being said, there are multiple looking at A right now, although only the
I
one
think
in
that
the
this is
whole
definitely a
rock-
missed opportunity from OSP not killing one of those beamstones earlier on.
Right.
They had successfully seen off a couple of them. Bastion Flight looking like underneath the map, they're going to find the corpse here with some rockets. The corpse as well, despite the 100 mil liner strikes, these destroyers had lived through that. Now
Right.
Rocket's going to
That
clean up
finishes
that
it up,
thing,
though.
but
Yeah. Taking a look
Nightshade
here.
Flight's still loitering nearby. There's quite a few of these just light rocket strikers just hanging out. Nightshade has fuel for the next minute or so, but that liner has pulled back significantly along with its compatriots.
Right. I think that... Oh, here we go. Cosmic sending the Ruddle towards C. Will this be caught by a beamstone? You can see here Solus has already moved back the beamstone that they pushed up pretty aggressively. It is on track. ANS knows it's... Or sorry, OSP knows it's there. Missile Yub
Size
attempt
2 is going to
at the
go into the
beamstone goalie
A-hole there.
at
See if it
A.
catches Mildly.
Cosmic does manage to get their capper into cover relative
Uh-oh,
to the
it's going to
beamstone. It
miss, and
catches
instead
the wrong
Solus, I
one.
think, is caught slacking. Last second chaff attempt, but
Those are all gonna
maybe
hit
too
the
late.
nose.
All right, that's
One
going to be the beam
restore.
taken down.
Beamstone is recoverable, although that is a lot of beam health lost. Second missile strike comes in, unfortunately misses as Mildly pulls back corpse.
Bit of a mistiming there. If they had gotten this size 2 strike as well as Cosmic Eradicator moving their shuttle onto the A point, they may have gotten that cap. Still, OSP currently leading 410 to 248 on the board. ANS and OSP both holding a 2 cap, A staying neutral. I'm going to say it right now, with the defensive assets being slowly bled on ANS side, I think OSP is in a much more favored position right now.
Look at
To
this.
see if Nightshade gets through.
Iris's BB pushes into plasma range of the monitors, takes some plasma to a really
That is a
not
bad angle
that's
to
a
get yourself
bad
found
angle.
at.
Yep, that's Hesh and 100 mil now going into this BB. It will likely start pulling back. SDM 200s go into Impulse Squadron, which is the ASF squadron providing air cover for the monitor ball.
Nightshade Flight gets jumped by Aurora fighters, and they are going to be having a
Ooh,
field days. These bombers
that
have
is
no defense.
8
Panic
bombers
dump
at
on the
close range.
torps.
They panic dump onto the Yub monitor. That is still a valuable target to go down, but nothing like the much more valuable liner that
Yub monitor does get removed here. Very soft target backline asset. So honestly, as far as pickoffs go, that's a pretty decent one. This thing had, I just checked, it was like 40 of its missiles left. Manages to flick fire off a couple of them. So
at the last
still
moment,
a
as
good
they
pickoff
panic
there
dump.
as
These
far
ones
as they
are
could.
just blind firing through the gap in the A-Rock here. OSP steps onto A, completely undetected. The beamstone's
There we
out
go,
of
that's the
position.
thing.
The beamstone's out of position. They were forced to pull back to avoid the missiles. And now, yeah, A is completely open. These missiles that go through the A-Rock, They acquire Chaff.
They're gonna now actually lock on to the corpse of mine. Let's see if they have maneuver.
acquire
One of them
Chaff.
catches it in the tail.
And knock out the
a drive snipe on this thing.
That Beamstone is going to be unable to deny A, as OSP, I believe, is just going to take A.
Yep.
The
OSP
blind fire
will get the A cap here. No other beam destroyers in position. There was multiple areas, but the corpse, well, both of the corpses in the cadaver were all forced back by some of those R2 and size 2 strikes. Very good positioning there, generating some like pressure, making it so that there's this opportunity to push in. Taking a look top of the map, Iris is kind of just exchanging fire with this monitor ball. We've seen this in previous games. The monitor ball versus battleship trade is pretty neutral until a deciding factor from supporting teammates comes in. You see that one of the monitors does get messed up pretty bad, loses all of its guns for the moment, but is slowly drifting back into cover.
2 restores means they're going to be able to bring up a lot of that. Fire from the BB has swapped to a different one now, allowing that thing to start recovering. You can see here on the C flank as well, Cosmic's Ruddle flank onto that Beamstone doesn't really end too well. It gets hit by one of the bomber squadrons. Although, that being said,
Sunderflight cleans up Aurora's.
Sunder Squadron...
There's 2 Sunders, actually.
In the same area. Sunder Squadron is ASF for notes, and Sunder Squadron for OSP is a Ruddle strike that is attempting to find that Beamstone. That Beamstone's
ANS Sunder will find them first. Throws a Naginata type out there.
Yep, Tethys just panic dumping the rockets now, just to make sure that they get them out before they get struck, and those are going to...
Might not have actually seen these guys on radar, given the directionals.
That is a mission-killed Beamstone. C now has nothing guarding it other than the carrier. If OSP can muster a capper, that's going to be a relatively easy grab. Meanwhile, Cosmic finds another one of the Beamstones with their 100mm liner. This is Solus's carcass under fire. Its beam was facing A in the completely wrong direction, leaving it completely open to this flanking shot here, although I do believe it M-comps. No, it doesn't. It goes dark. Not sure why it went dark.
And R2 strike from behind as Lancer Flight catches it.
Didn't even see that. The execution from behind from Tethys clears out yet
I gotta
another
say,
Beamstone. OSP
these
is doing
light
a
R2
masterful
strikers,
job.
these have been deadly this game.
OSP Team Freakbob's Fenthouse is doing a masterful job of coordinating these Beamstone snipes here. As you can see, Cosmic with the 250 liner finds one of the cappers from Mildly here that was going towards E and just absolutely annihilates it with the 250 liner. E is relatively safe now as OSP hangs on to that really strong 3 cap here. Their frontline forces are much better developed than OSP's, ANS's. Mildly's been Iris, Jesus, has been kind of forced outside of the map above C, a point that they already own. Meanwhile, you can see the liners and monitors from Freakbob's Fenthouse are really aggressively in position around EA and
Falcon
Dagger.
chat, they're talking about how they killed the, 4th, 5th Beamstone this game. One of them is mission killed, and there is 4 dead. Considering this is a double cap fleet play, they are doing surprisingly poor on the points. They had a lot of screening, but were really trying to get that 3 cap and hold on to it, and just never managed to do that this game.
ANS started with 10 Beamstones, only down to 5 functional ones now. You can see Modley has 3 in various states of damage. Solus has 2. One of the beams on Solus's Beamstones is really injured here. Not a good
C-point cap. Cosmic Eradicator might be getting struck. They are trying to clean up the gluttony from Solus, like Corvette. There is 6 bombers currently moving towards them and no fighter coverage nearby. This may be the first successful, proper strike on a capital that we see this
game.
Out
of SDMs, there go the torpedoes. These are Act Saw and Act Hodge. It looks like they're going to do a TOT type thing here. Does Cosmic have comms jamming? Is the question.
They do not.
No Warbler on this thing. They do manage.
This is going to be an impact then, and that is a dead liner. It's just gone.
Wow.
Wow.
Whoa. I've never seen.
It's double. Torpedoes... Oh, it's double storage. No.
Oh no. DCX means that thing is not going to be able to resist as all of the restores get sniped. Okay. I was just going to say I've never seen a liner. No. Yeah. There's no reinforced DC on this thing at all. Folks, this is why you bring. This is why you bring reinforced. This is why you bring reinforced DC because if this Cosmic had brought a DCX, they would have lived and been able to restore a little bit there. Meanwhile, Breacher does send their last torpedo out onto... Oh, Cosmic Stun Capper, but it misses.
Yep, that's a seeker accuracy for you right there. There's a little bit of inaccuracy at play, and it was just enough here.
ANS is now cycling
Kavise might take a
bombers.
breacher here.
ANS is now cycling bombers. Breacher forced on RTB directly through the point defense field of that shuttle there.
Yep,
yeah, it
there's
takes
the
out both of them.
kill.
C is relatively open now. The BB is in orbit. The only thing that's really stopping them is Solus's little gun capper here, which if Cosmic plays this right, they should be able to win the gunfight against eventually.
Iris going wide in the orbit now, going to find these monitors here from an odd angle. Monitors, I don't think we're expecting that, have to quickly swing their noses around and rotate on this rock. Still, Iris going to be very out of position up in the kind of orbital space here. Not able to provide pressure on that left side of the map for a while.
That being said,
so
simultaneously, it looks like the
develops it.
BB is trying to push them into the beamstones here. As you can see, Mildly and Solus send a couple of their beamstones over the A-Rock here, and they start flanking towards the monitors. What is that range bracket? That
is really close to the effective fire range.
Almost within range, yeah, as Mildly, I think, is just going to flank speed these beamstones here to try and get the kill on the monitors, trying to dislodge them from A to allow a cap attempt to happen. The battleship doing a really impressive job of pivoting here. You can see Spy Eye immediately recognizes what's going on and immediately swaps the beamstones over to, or the monitors over to firing at this beamstone here. Beamstone has fire order. It is out of range. Will it be able to fire?
100 mil is going to start tickling the front of this thing. Beam is already losing health bar.
Yep.
Beam is down to 14%. That is going to be a denial as it gets sniped out. 100 mil is very effective against that.
Spy Eye, really impressive play there, immediately recognizing what the opposing team was trying to do there and immediately pivots over. Although that being said, both Solus and Mildly have additional beamstones in that A-Rock there that they might try and do the same thing with. Jamming
Where
out
they
from
don't
the
have
monitors.
beamstones is the C point right now, as there's a gun capper fight going on. T-20 shuttle does not have the heading command locked.
No, it does
We talked
not.
before about how the front of this thing is very hard to kill, but from the broadside here, the Corvette will take the favorite engagement.
Yeah, you need to put heading there in order to win that fight there. Cosmic is sending a Ruddle, though, to help with the C thing here. Solus now flanking the damaged beamstone onto the point, although this thing is missing its arming missile and its beam, which means that it will not be able to contest.
Congestion there as they're trying to go around. Iris doing their best to rotate in here, getting aggressive, trying to use the battleship's armor and health bar. They know that this monitor ball has been degraded over the course of the game, taking a couple of shots here and there. They're trying to just push in now, saying, screw it, I don't need armor anyways. I'll take these plasma hits if I can kill you.
Look at Slasher Squadron. That is a sortie of 12 R2 bombers there. I believe that those are probably going for the BB. They have been target locked. Is the BB going to fire SDM-200s? It still has...
Battleship has two SDM-2s. That's not enough.
Sarissa is now firing from the battleship's orbital support reins. Slasher needs to flank speed to that battleship just to help with...
Sarissa's actually in a very bad arc here.
There they go. There goes
they need
the
to rotate this thing sideways.
SDM-200's out. CMD Nagananta is out on Slasher here. Slasher's likely going to take a couple losses here, but with only 2, I highly doubt it's going to be enough to be able to stop this strike here. One.
We'll see. One gets splashed.
One of them
appears to just misses. That's unusual for command.
Slasher now flank speeding directly towards that BB. They are going to strike with their rockets. They are taking some losses to the Sarissas, although are they going to commit? I believe they are. They are within range.
If this frigate was in a proper broadside position, Slasher flight would be under a lot of threat right now.
Slasher swapping target to the reins.
May actually be the tech here. They're going for it. Yeah, there's the R2s, knowing that this is going to be an air support asset. They're going to remove it from the game with that R2 strike. There is the hits as we see this thing trying to roll.
Mostly as Slasher, this time's the launch. The Reigns does live, loses a Sarissa, though.
Mildly apparently can't spot a plasma liner for some odd reason. Interesting stuff. Taking a look on the east side, we're going to see that 100 mil, or no, that 250 liner going to be cleaning up shop here.
Meanwhile,
Bloodkin from the 8 point is... Oh, actually, this might be the Snorkel effect going on. So, due to some of the weirdness of how the liner hull works with its size, the radar measurement point is from the center. Potentially, they just don't see the center point of it due to the weird geometry of these rocks here.
We have an ASF engagement by the monitors as the escorted bombers from AMS do manage to clean up the fighter escort for the monitors. Looks like they do get strikes through as most of those monitors are pretty gutted now. That was the majority of OSP's frontline is now going to get picked apart by the BB as ANS
To
finally
their
gets
credit,
the
though,
advantage they were looking for on frontline, though. Although, at this point in the game, OSP secured a massive cap advantage. They're going to take C as well. The Ruddle from Cosmic manages to kill everything else on C point as OSP takes a 4 cap here. Will they be able to hold is the question. Mildly flanking
will
their
they need to hold is the other
Beamstone.
one. At this current state, almost 800 points on the board right now. 4 cap situation. ANS very deprived of their cap assets. They're down to, let's see, how many working beamstones? 2 working beamstones with very damaged nose guns on this thing. They are not looking good in the cap situation. Iris is very far out of position right now. They're not on any of the cap points. And, well, with the carriers that far in the back line, there's a lot of cycle time for the bombers here to have to come back.
I don't know if the remaining
Despite
ships
the advantage,
from ANS
like,
can get onto points in time, yeah. There is a sacrifice play attempt on A. Mildly sends in their crippled beamstone to try and take the point, although multiple ships have arc to fire. Cosmic's 100 mil liner, the remaining one, has put itself in a very advantageous position. Low there, able to deny large portions of the A area here. Beam engagement on Eclipse here as Blackjack gets beamed on its rocket strike attempt on Solus's skull. They strike early on Cadaver instead, not wanting to get beamed. Those are missiles.
Does take out the beam there. No restores left. Beamstone ineffective.
Down, which leaves, I believe, only Solus's 3-Cadaver as the only functional beamstone left. Or the only one that still has its beam up, right? No. Skull does as well and begins beaming Cyclone Squadron, although there is a still fully healthy 250 liner here at
trying, and they're going to be short out their beam there.
Ooh, that's unfortunate. This liner
that
from
said, there's
Cosmic.
not really much for them to hit over here. Game looking pretty decisively in OSP's favor. ANS just bringing in a lot of these defensive assets to hold a lead, but they just never could establish it.
Tethys is committing with the 20. How many?
22
fighters.
Fighters.
That is going directly towards the BB.
Yep. I just realized these are named Pikes. This is
incredible.
a bit of funniness there. All right. Battleship in the broadside has been plasma on the left there. Let's see if they go for the angle or not. They may just decide to hellstrike this thing.
The Sarissa Reigns with a little bit of a misplay. It's their knocked out Sarissa that's facing towards the squadron. Their active one is
unfortunate.
Rolled to the wrong angle. You can see the Reigns is attempting to roll right now to try and get that onto target, but it is too little too late as Voodoo is going to have nothing stopping them from just striking here. The BB is out of SDM 200s. No Sarissa support as Voodoo's just going to get real close and just dump onto this this BB.
Defenders will kick on as they enter the range here.
Doubles back. There we go. Tethys
going for the widespread formation. There's the simultaneous strike, and that's going to be some good impacts.
Yep.
It's going to be a lot of good impacts. Take a look at this thing. Pretty redded. If there was frontline to capitalize on this, this would be a great time for it. A lot of those armor plates on the right side have now been stripped down due to those rocket impacts.
I should probably mention that Tethys still has 150 R2s remaining in their carrier.
Dear Lord. All right,
anyway,
8-point Cosmic Eradicator is going to step on with their admittedly kind of wounded 100 mil liner,
like
but this thing does have enough to put itself together.
Looks like it got struck by Chieftain.
Chieftain gets torps through there. So these liners, I will say they're a little bit greeted in some ways, going with this double storage instead of a complex. That's only a 10-point like cheapening. You definitely can fit complex, and it's. I'm going to say like every time it's worth it.
I think they're meant for more of a sustained frontline-like engagement with the number of restores they have, although that makes them super vulnerable to those carrier strikes, as we saw with the other one here. I've never seen a liner get one-shot by a torpedo bomber squadron like that before. That was actually a little bit impressive.
Double basic CIC, double storage. These are incredibly fragile, but if they survive the strike, they can definitely put themselves back together with the double storage.
Seaplane being contested as a beamstone.
Reactor bloom goes off from the shuttle, it looks like.
Did that knock out the beamstone? No, it's still contesting. Okay, so it's going to be an infinite contesting on C, considering that beamstone is not combat effective, and the...
this is... Okay, so let's take a look. Yard drive shuttle here. Okay, so the rocket shuttle is currently considered ineffective.
Yep.
Those cells are empty, and it's missing its... Oh, okay, there we go then.
Fenthouse is going to take round one with excellent carrier play from Tethys, able to just annihilate... Honestly, excellent play from everyone on Freakbob's Fenthouse. The anti-beamstone strategy worked absurdly well here. I believe that Freakbob's Fenthouse probably anticipated the mass beamstone play here based on their fleet comp. We saw a lot of 100 mil liners, lots of 250 liners, and the R2 carrier worked very, very well against the massed beamstone strategy that ANS brought here. All of the beamstones bled out at the end. A lot of them really early on, and a lot of them at very, very inopportune moments for ANS. The team play really working out for OSP there. The battleship, unfortunately, was just kind of forced into orbit by the monitors, holding a really aggressive stance on A. Although the monitors ended up getting killed in the end, they managed to hold for long enough for the points to tick up for an OSP victory there. Notes did get some strikes through at the end there, but for the very opening parts of the match, we're just completely unable to get strikes through on those early cappers and early aggressive plays from OSP, which allowed them to secure the cap advantage. And by the time they were able to get strikes through, especially on the monitors and on some of the liners, it was kind of already decided due to the points lead that OSP had gained.
Yeah, OSP comfortably getting that advantage in the early game. The backline for ANS, while they went for this very bomber-heavy style, which can be quite effective, as we saw, they just eviscerate one of the liners when they caught it out of position, also suffers a bit here as the fighter coverage was just so heavy on the OSP side with all those R2 strikers. All you need is a little bit of 20 mil to see them off.